Welcome to Georgina Life. On today's show, the Georgina Military Museum and a brand new season.
We have beautiful art, spring energy, and healing laughter. All of this and more on today's Georgina Life.
Well, welcome to Georgina Life on this week before Easter. Can you believe it? And today we have a little bit of a surprise because Grant is cavorting somewhere on a beach in Mexico. So we have our very own Jeannie Faria with us today. Jeannie, hello.
I'm back.
I'm so glad you're back. How
I'm
are
not
you?
cavorting, I'm here.
You are.
That's it. Lucky Grant.
But we're cavorting here.
We're cavorting here. Exactly. Back on live TV.
So how does it feel?
It feels great. It feels good to be back. It feels like normal.
Good.
You know?
Well, I'm glad that you're here.
Me too.
And I'm glad that this is, I mean, it's insane, right? It's almost Easter.
I know.
But it's a bunch of other stuff because this is kind of a weird month. Everything happens in April, right?
Yeah,
Everything
lots going
happens.
on.
Everything. So it is not only the week before Easter, but it is Oral Health Month, as we knew, I think, last week because we had Melissa Sador on. So it's Oral Health Month. It's Autism Awareness Month.
Right.
It's also Parkinson's Awareness Month. And it's the month that Jeannie and I got our hair done.
Big deal, right?
And who did our hair?
Well, you know, Margaret from Hair I Go does an awesome job. And I've twice been saved by her with pandemic hair. So she saw me, she saw the roots. It was just, you know, it was bad. And so she thought, you've got to get fixed up before you go back on television and scare Georgina. Just don't do that.
Yeah, I know. I had the same thing. She did a before and after picture of me, and I didn't even recognize myself.
Yeah, she's
honestly,
really good.
It was like all over the place, but that's okay. Listen, I wanted to mention that Paul Brady, who is with the Georgina Historical Society, posted the most amazing photograph of the rainbow that happened here in Georgina after the thunderstorm that we had last week.
Wow.
What do you think, Jeannie?
That is so gorgeous. That is so beautiful.
Look how bright that is, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody was raving about look at that, how bright that was.
Yeah, it's the full spectrum.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's
great shot.
Unbelievable. And we really thank Paul for allowing us to use his pictures because, honestly, they were, really stunning. I've never seen a rainbow that bright. You?
You know, it's amazing because they're fleeting, of course, right? So it's such a panic trying to capture that beautiful image, and he did a beautiful job. So yeah, it's just fantastic. And of course, it's just magical where we live. The water and the waterfront and all of that. So
absolutely. And speaking of magical cat lady.
Yeah, that's a great segue. Magic cat ladies.
Right.
Well, you know, it's kitten season. And so for the Georgina Feral Cat Committee, who are a group of volunteers that work, you know, in such a dedicated way to help our community cats and help the feral issue that we have here in our community. So there's a couple ways that, Georgina, you can help. So they're doing a bottle drive that will go all the way till November 1st. There's 2 locations to drop off on. One is 62 Silverstone Crescent in Keswick, and the other is in Pefferlaw at 23 Pete's Lane. So all your empties, drop them off because the money goes for the kittens and the cats. And they're also doing a clothing drive on the 23rd of April and May the 7th at the Jiffy Lube on Woodbine. So those are all ways that they strive to create funds to make money for surgeries, for food, for medical care, for such important things. So if you can help out our smallest neighbors, that would be great, Georgina.
I love it. Thank you, Jeannie. And I know that you're, a certified cat lady.
It's true. I carry the card. It's true. I do. Yeah. I'm at the legal limit, so that's all good. But yeah.
Good. And I have to say, this past weekend, they did a clothing drive as well at Jiffy Lube. And I had already cleaned out my cupboard. So I think that we had like 6 bags that we dropped off. So we were excited about that.
That's great. Well, it's a good time of year for that. It's spring, right? That natural kind of cleaning out and, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. Cleaning out all your stuff.
All your stuff.
All your stuff. Anyway, so I wanted to mention, we did have Corrine on last week, I believe. Could be the week before. I'm not sure. But she wasn't sure when they were going to hold in-person registration for the Lake Simcoe Minor Softball Association. But in person, I can't talk today, Jamie.
It's okay.
I think I need another cup of coffee. In-person registrations began this past weekend, and they continue on Saturday, April 23rd at the Ice Palace in Keswick by the library. So they take place from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and you can go and look for more information at lsmsa.ca or Facebook, LSMSA, Lake Simcoe Minor Softball Association, or you can email president@lsmsa.ca. So get your registration going, get it happening, because it's going to be a great season.
Amazing.
Right?
Lots of fun.
Oh my gosh.
Lots of fun. Get out there in the sun.
Totally.
Yep.
So speaking of lots of fun, something really big is happening at the Georgina Center for Arts and Culture.
There is something big happening. So we've just put a call out for street artists to send us some mock-ups, some ideas, some concept work. And we're going to be creating an outside installation of street artists in the front of the actual physical building of the gallery. And this is part of us sort of branching out into all different forms of art, different genres, recognizing that art comes in so many different shapes and forms. And this is part of sort of making that connect and creating some space for that category of art to have a home in Georgina.
I love that.
Yeah, we're super excited.
That's exciting. So where is it going to be? It's going to be
right at the gallery,
right
out front.
Out
so
front.
it'll be an outdoor installation of panels of original street art.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you're a Banksy, let's do it.
I was going to say, and if you want to be like front and center,
yeah.
Because there's a lot of traffic that goes on, right, in front of the gallery. So this is going to be great.
Yeah,
so,
it's great.
yeah.
I think it's something that brings the community together and hopefully encourages some lingering around on the sidewalk and visiting that beautiful downtown core of Sutton, which is full of shops and restaurants and wonderful things. So we're hoping to create a good summer vibe there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for that information. And
You're welcome.
so, listen, Georgina. Okay, and Jeannie, you know how much I love thrift shopping.
You do. It's
I
your
do.
thing. It's your thing.
It's totally my thing. Well, guess what? I don't have to go to a thrift store because we can go shopping at the curb really soon, because curbside giveaway days are back here in Georgina. I love curbside giveaway days because I can get rid of some of my stuff that I don't want anymore. And you know, what is it? One man's junk is another man's treasure, right? Well, guess what? I can go shopping. You can go shopping
Treasures.
right at the curb.
Yep.
And you know what? It's April 23rd. They run monthly until October.
It's great.
Which is great. So put your unwanted items at the curb. They have to be back in your house by 5 p.m. So if nobody takes them, oh well, you can put them out again the month after. So anybody can take them free of charge. Love it. Any unclaimed items removed by 5. And guess what? For more information, you can go to georgina.ca or eNews, georgina.ca/eNews, which is awesome. Which is awesome. So you like thrift shopping?
I love it. And the whole curbside pickup is much better than like garbage picking or pollocking.
Yeah.
It just sounds kind of fancier.
Right?
And I love it. I do it all the time.
I know.
Yeah, it's
I know.
environmental actually, right?
Oh.
It's a green sort of, keeping everything out of the...
Oh my gosh, some of the stuff that I picked up at the curb. So listen, we got a show to do.
We gotta do it.
We do. So we have Sid Giddings from the Georgina Military Museum with us today. We have a laughter yoga with Cathy Nesbitt, who's going to tell us all about that. We have artist Teresa Cooney. And of course, we have Spring Energies with April Sarah from Naturally Enchanted. So guess what, Jeannie? We're going to have a great show, right?
I'm so excited. We've got great guests. It feels so good to be back. It's spring. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know. I feel
good.
ya. So listen, Georgina, do not go anywhere. Grab yourself a cup of goodness. We have artist Teresa Cooney coming up right after the break. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the show, Georgina. So, you know, one of the amazing things about living here is that we are just chock full of amazing talent. And I am going to introduce you to a wonderful artist who is new to Georgina. You're going to be introduced to her work both on the show and later on as she has her first solo show in the gallery. Welcome to the show, Teresa Cooney, artist extraordinaire.
Thank
You're
you.
here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. So I am so excited to have this interview with you and to share this remarkable talent that you have in terms of painting. So really quickly, just give me a sort of, what's your inspiration for these pieces that you're creating right now?
Well, everywhere I look, I see a painting. And I drive around in my car and I see something of interest, like this barn on Metro Road. I always loved it. I drove by, I just thought, this barn is, I've got to stop one day and take a picture. So I finally stopped and I took the picture, and I took several, and I thought, this has got to be a painting. So when I did paint it, I found out there was a history to it. And I'm on Facebook connecting to Georgina and also Friends of Jackson's Point. So I found out a whole bunch of stuff about this barn from people that live in the community. They told me it used to be this person's and it had riding lessons. And so that's what I love, finding focal places of around here that are historical value and that people know they can relate to. Like this picture here is the Christ Church in it's on Roach's Point.
Yes, okay.
And it's just such a pretty spot. It's like walking into an English garden. And I love the architecture. I did study art, you know. In
it's wonderful.
But I just love the whole vibe of the building. So when I do the painting like that, I find out about the history of it.
Yeah.
And this building was built in 1862.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, for me, what happened when I saw your images, your paintings, were that they were so evocative and that they're so familiar. All of these little nooks and crannies, these places, these gates, these fences, these barns, these buildings that we see all the time, and they're home to us. And you've captured them so beautifully on canvas. Like, it's wonderful.
Well, I've been painting all my life.
Okay.
So my first art lesson was when I was 14. My mom finally thought, go and learn how to do this the right way.
Right.
I was getting paint on everything, and I was drawing on papers. When I was a little kid, I'd draw on any piece of paper I found. And then until I started drawing on a document that I shouldn't have. So anyways.
Until you got in trouble.
I got in trouble.
Yeah.
So, but it didn't stop me.
Right. So now you were talking that for years you used oils, because artists kind of, you know, they go through different sort of genres or phases in their creativity and their exploration. So these are acrylics?
These are acrylics, and it took me a while to learn how to use them, trial and error, because acrylic paint dries much faster than oils.
Yeah.
So, and also when you work with acrylics, there's a transparency. You can go back. Some people cover the entire canvas with maybe a warm, soft color. So if they want to create a certain mood, it'll sort of be a transparency will come through. The opaqueness of it will be the end result. So I'm still learning. I'm not.
It's a process.
Yeah.
It's a process.
It's
Anything
a journey.
Creative. It is. It really is. So part of your journey really is going to be, now you're going to have your first solo show.
I'm so excited.
At the gallery, 149 High Street. It starts in May.
I know.
And will go through until June and perhaps a little bit longer. So we're inviting the community to come and take a look at your beautiful pieces. They're going to be hanging in the gallery.
I am so excited. And it's something that, you know, to be recognized, you know, it's just really nice. I am so glad I moved up to this area, and I've met so many wonderful people, and through my art, really.
Yeah, you're making the connections.
Connections.
You're making the connections. We've got some more pieces that we can look at that you've given us some photos of, so you can kind of talk us through those ones.
Yeah, this one I call Amongst the Giants. The trees are so big, and some of them are very old, and the rocks that are there. This is just right down from where I live, and in the distance there you see the old courting house.
Okay.
So I tried to put that in there too.
Yeah. Wow, that's great.
And this one, yeah.
This is such an iconic scene for everybody.
Again, the harbor, there's so much history there. I kind of changed it up to my own, like it's not what you see. Like I've added a little bit my own interpretation of it, but I wanted it to also express like there's still a wildness about that. There's still a lot of beautiful landscape and trees. It hasn't been, you know, butchered, you know. It remains very, very natural.
Yeah, yeah, we're blessed. I mean, it's even sort of the symbol of Georgina is green and water.
Yeah.
And we're lucky that we have that sort of all that natural greenery still, and of course, the water in that painting was just, by the way, is fantastic.
Oh,
the
thank
blues
you.
were just wonderful. So, you know, I guess just what are your thoughts about having the show now? You know, like as an artist?
I am so happy and excited, and I've invited a lot of my friends, a lot of my relatives.
Yep.
So I hope to just jam that gallery just full. And I've got so many more paintings to do too. So I hope to continue my retirement years. This is what I'm so happy that I have the time and the place and such wonderful things and scenery to
It's wonderful.
to use.
So in case people aren't going to make it to the gallery for the show, which we hope they do, but how can they get a hold of you to get more information about you and the pieces that you've done?
I think my email is available, and also I've just created a new website. It's going to be launched very shortly within the next couple of days.
Yeah.
And so they can go to that, or they can actually phone me. I'm going to have all that information for local people if they want to just talk to me. I'm going to make myself available.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
Yeah.
And again, you know, Teresa, thank you so much, not only for sharing these beautiful works with the community on Georgina Life, but willing to come in to become a part of our gallery family and share your work with our entire community, because that's really what we're trying to do here, is to share all of this wonderful talent with Georgina.
Well, I just want to thank you for all your help and allowing me to present my work. It's just a dream come true.
That is so wonderful. That is wonderful. So again, Georgina, starting in May and June, you can go and see Teresa's lovely pieces at the Center for Arts and Culture in Georgina on High Street, and you can contact her as well independently via her website. All right, that's it. We've got no more time. Stay tuned, Georgina. Lots more coming up on today's Georgina Life.
Welcome back, Georgina. You know, it is spring, and there is something to the old adage that says, we all have spring fever. There's something in the air. And to share a little bit about what that might mean is our best friend here, April Sarah from Naturally Enchanted. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. You know what? I have made it to the comfy couch of Georgina Life.
Right?
Like, what a way to start the week.
I love it. I'm glad that you're so happy.
I'm so happy.
Listen, this whole thing about spring energies, and is it sort of normal to get like spring fever?
It sure is. So you'll probably, think back to a few months ago when there was a lot of snow, January, February, and even March, which really wasn't that far off. The skies are gray and it's just kind of meh. But then we get that little spring in our step because there's more blue skies, there's some sunshine, and we just get this urge to rush forward.
Right, right. So that's kind of normal.
It's totally normal.
Now, why is it normal? Is there something like in the air? Is there something in the stars?
There's something everywhere. It's universal energy. It's the planet that we're on. So think of spring. What happens? The ground softens and things start to blossom. They grow up. Everything grows through the earth. And so our energy does very much the same thing. It's like we hibernate. We're dormant. And then we start to blossom. All the seeds that we planted through those darker months, we're now getting ready to spring forward.
Right. Now, okay, when I said the stars and the moon, is there something to that? Because I know that, when you're on Facebook or you're somewhere and you're looking for information, people talk about the different moons.
Yes, so on April 16th, we have the full pink moon. Now, it's not actually going to be pink. It's called that because of the flowers that are going to be blooming and blossoming this month. But with this moon, it falls in the sign of Libra. So if you can think of Libra, it's all about balance and harmony. So there's been a bit of a shakeup. So if you're finding that things are sort of falling away, it's so that new things can come together.
Got it. Got it. Now that's an interesting thing because, like, for example, I had said the spring fever thing, we all go nuts cleaning, right? So that would be, I guess, the old stuff.
That's right.
Falling away.
So, I mean, energetically, you know when you don't feel great if you walk into a room. We'll use like an empath as an example. You walk into a space, you don't know the space, but something just doesn't feel right? That's your energetic body saying, I'm not so sure. So an extension of our energy is our homes. Right. The cars we drive. Is there a lot of clutter? Do you keep a lot of garbage in your car? You know, you want to feel good about yourself, and you feel best when things are organized. And now sometimes there's organized chaos, right? We've all been there. It's like, it's chaotic, but it works. It's organized for me. But if you, let's just say you got your car detailed. How good do you feel driving your car?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's an energetic extension of you. There's order. Things are like they're clean, they're fresh, they're new. So you're ready to step forward with that new vibrant energy.
Right. So in other words, you clear out the slush.
Get rid of the funk. Yeah.
You clear out the slush. So you Marie Kondo your whole life.
Yes. So, you know, first you start with the vegetables that don't bring you joy.
Right.
You get rid of the celery and the carrots in your crisper, and then you move to the other things. Like, we all have those junk drawers in our house. I say drawers because I'm not perfect. I have a couple.
Yes.
Right? It's just the drawer where things go to die. So you have company coming, open a drawer, toss it in, slam it, and it's gone. Everything's clean. But then that piles up after a while, and you can't open that drawer anymore because it's too full of yuck.
Right. So in other words, you can't ever welcome the new unless you ditch the old.
Exactly. It's like someone wanting to bring love into their life. I really want a new partner. I really want to be in a relationship, but you won't clear any space in your closet because it's full of your stuff.
Got it. So listen, for advice, we go to Naturally Enchanted?
Absolutely.
Perfect. And I think we have all the information up on the screen anyway.
I think so.
I think we do. But we're gonna continue our conversation later. So
can't wait.
This is gonna be great. This is gonna be great. So listen, Georgina, don't go away. We have so much more coming up on today's Georgina Life.
Welcome back to the show, Georgina. So we are here with one of course, our favorite guests. We love when he comes on the show. He always brings just such interesting things. And he's here to talk about his season opener. Welcome to the show, Sid Giddings from the Georgina Military Museum.
I thank you so much.
So it's a big time of the year right now.
It's our big time. This time of the year, we're all exhausted there for getting ready, but our grand opening for the year is the 16th of April.
Wonderful. Congrats on that.
Through the winter, when we're closed, we strive to refresh the exhibits in the museum and add new ones, which we have done.
Okay, yeah.
And we did a lot of research also.
Right,
and we had part of the research you went through, we investigated some existing exhibits that we had.
Okay.
And in doing that, we found some interesting information about these people. The thing with our museum, we tell the story of the artifact, the story of the people that own those artifacts.
That's right.
And how they got there and the history.
Yeah.
And that's the uniqueness of our museum, is the stories that go with the artifacts.
Yeah.
And this particular one on the table here, Mynarski was a VC winner.
Okay.
He was a bomb aimer, and the aircraft, the Lancaster at Hamilton, is named after him and is painted in his squadron colors. We enhanced his display.
Yeah, just going to make a shot for there we go. Perfect. Yeah. Just so people can see at home how wonderful. Okay, so that's a display 4.
We enhanced this display for Mynarski, and this is him here, and there's a picture of his memorials and everything else. So this is just an enhancement on Mynarski's exhibit. Okay,
Right,
the
right.
brave man.
Yeah.
Now, the other one we had was a local man, and anyone that would come to our museum would have seen this particular uniform in one display. And he was one of 2 members that got out of a crew of a Halifax bomber that was shot down.
Okay.
He had a cottage at Willow Beach.
Oh, okay.
And his son, in the early days, used to volunteer at the museum.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We had a very limited story on him. We knew one other person survived, and we didn't have any names or description or anything.
Yeah.
But through a lot of digging around, Ron and I, we found out all the 7 crew members.
Wow.
And not only that, there was an 8th crew member on board, which perished because new crews would send a green pilot out on 2 missions to gain experience.
Okay.
So he was the 8th person on that crew, which was unusual. They all perished, except for these 2 gentlemen.
Yeah, so a lot of detective work for you to do.
Yes, it took us days and days and days, and they flew a different kind of bomber before, a Wimpy, Wellington, and it had a missing propeller, and we didn't know why, and I used to tell the story that, well, it probably got...
Yeah.
There was a story behind it we didn't know. Well, we found the story.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what makes it... We found the story, how and why.
Yeah.
And I won't tell the story because you have to come to the museum to hear it.
Okay, that's the deal. That's the deal. I think we're good. I think we're good.
Then this is the squadron and 427 and 10 squadron on the other side is, I've referred to it here before. I've bought stuff before, which we call our plane, HR 805.
Yep.
I think he was a major at the Sally Ann here. His son died on that plane.
Wow.
And
okay.
He was a hero in himself. So we've never displayed those artifacts, we've done it this year.
Wonderful.
Okay?
Wonderful.
And then this particular one is 438 Squadron and 429 Squadron. 438 Squadron, they were Typhoon dive bombers. And a gentleman that has a machine shop that works with us, helps us.
Yep.
His neighbor's father flew in that squadron.
Oh my goodness.
He bailed out and survived. We have a copy of his logbook.
Wow.
Which is here.
Yep.
And
did you bring that? Is that the book that you brought?
No.
Oh, okay.
And this is a brand new exhibit, all on his escapades.
Yeah.
Okay. And this one here is another bomber squadron, the 426 Bomber Squadron. That's a brand new display.
Wonderful.
And stories to go with it. Yes.
You guys have been busy.
Yes. The other one, which we take great pride in doing, and it's a very, very sad, untold story, is of particularly what's going on now, because this happened then. It's the story of Bosnia. And a gentleman that is a friend of one of our members, he was there and he got very badly wounded.
Okay.
And there's his story in a Legion magazine that's up there.
Yeah.
And so this is all on Bosnia and the Invictus
Sid,
Games.
we're of course run out of time again.
Oh, of
you
course.
always bring so much humanity to these stories, which is really what's important to all of us in the community. So thank you. Come back again as soon as you can. Congratulations on your season opener, Georgina. We've got more coming up. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this message.
welcome back, Georgina. Guess what? We all love to laugh, don't we? I mean, I know I love to laugh. And somebody else who really loves to laugh is Cathy Nesbitt. She is the laughter ambassador of Cathy's Chuckle Club, and she wears a heck of a lot of hats. Welcome to Georgina Life, Cathy.
Thank you, Linda. I'm excited to be here. To talk about laughter. I do have a lot of hats.
Good. No, I'm glad. So, Cathy, I mean, I know you wear a lot of hats, but I mean, you're kind of the worm ambassador, you're kind of the composter, you're kind of everything, but we're talking about laughter yoga now, right?
Yes, we are, and we need it more than ever. We have a mental health tsunami on our hands, and so laughter is the fastest happiness hack.
Well, and I was going to ask exactly what is laughter yoga, because people out there know what yoga is, but what is laughter yoga?
Beautiful, thank you. So laughter yoga is not about fancy pants or poses, and I can say that because I don't do yoga. So it's intentional laughter exercises designed to make us feel good. So we do. I have, it's a cardiovascular workout. I have rock hard abs from laughing. Because when we laugh, who wants to do sit-ups or crunches when you can just laugh, right? Right? Our diaphragm is attached to all of our organs. So when we laugh, like if you put your hands on your belly and you say ho, ho, or ha, ha, you can feel your belly moving.
That's true, actually. You really can. But listen, this laughter thing, you're going to teach people how to do this. Can you tell us a little bit more about what's coming up?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. Yes. So I'm a laughter yoga teacher, which means that I am in a wonderful position to teach leaders. So the first training is a 2-day training. It's online, so anyone in the world can join. It might be in the middle of the night for people. And so during the 2-day training, we teach all the fundamental exercises. There's 40 foundational exercises, and we talk about the reason why you want to add this magic medicine to your life. Like, ever heard that laughter's the best medicine?
Absolutely. I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, it totally is, right? Everybody says, oh, laughter's the best medicine, so why don't we laugh, right? This was started in 1995 by a medical doctor, Dr. Madan Kataria, and his goal is world peace, Linda. There are laughter clubs around the world. North America's a bit of a late adopter, right? Yoga's kind of just arriving, so laughter yoga's still in the ocean.
But laughter has so many benefits. I mean, not just sort of mentally, but physically as well, as you were talking about. But I mean, the whole mental health piece, that's part of it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. So I'll just talk about stress and not stress. So when we're stressed, we're secreting cortisol.
Right.
When we're not breathing properly. So our brain requires 25% more oxygen than the rest of our body as an operating principle. So when we're stressed, our body's not getting what it needs. For sure, our brain isn't. Like, ever lost your keys, phone, glasses, and you're flapping around? You're like, I gotta go. As long as you're flapping around, you're never going to find your keys in that state, phone, glasses, whatever you lost, right? Because your brain is literally being deprived of oxygen.
Right.
Because when we go into stress, oxygen, blood, lymph leaves our brain. We don't need our answering machine.
True.
We need all those fluids to go into our muscles so we can escape or we can fight whatever we have to do.
Wow.
To get out of stress. And when we're laughing, I mean, as soon as we smile, we start secreting the love drugs, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. You know, sometimes people drink, they do drugs, they have sex, they eat certain foods so they can get those chemical hits. How wonderful. We can just laugh and get the same magic feeling.
True. So, Cathy, for all of this information, where do people go to get a hold of you?
Wonderful, yeah. So my laughter page is cathysclub.com, Cathy with a C. Everything's there. And yeah, the weekend training is going to be April 23rd and 24th online. And I've partnered with a master trainer in Quebec, Sylvie Dagenais-Duville, and the pair of us our expertise is in long-term care, so working with
Cathy,
seniors.
Thank you so much. I know we're always out of time. But listen, I just want you to continue laughing. We're going to laugh too. And thank you so, so much for everything that you do.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, thanks, Cathy. Bye, Cathy.
Bye.
Oh my gosh. So, you know what, Georgina? Going from laughter back to April, I'm excited about this because I know we have a little bit more to talk about. We had started on the couch, April Sarah from Naturally Enchanted. We started on the couch. Now, what exactly did you want to kind of pick up with right now?
So with everything that's happening energetically wise with the planet and things changing in the world, you have to think of self-care.
Right.
So I want you to think of your houseplants.
Oh.
Right? So they need what to survive? Sunlight, fresh air, water, and a gentle word. So we're basically, humans are houseplants with complicated emotions. So we need to treat ourselves in the same way. So you have to be nicer to yourself.
I like that.
Don't be so hard on yourself. Right. Take a moment, take a step back, and maybe don't blame yourself for things that are happening that are beyond your control, and just do things that fill your cup.
I like
right?
that. Okay.
And something we can do to move forward with that, and we were talking about it on the big comfy couch, is getting rid of things that don't belong in our space anymore.
Okay.
So you had mentioned earlier, Linda, about the curbside giveaway.
Yes.
So this couldn't be better timing to pick a room in your house and clean it out. The stuff that we bury in our closets that we've been holding on to because we maybe or we might one day need it again. If you haven't used it in a year, you don't need it.
I really like that.
Right? So pay it forward to someone else.
That's so true.
So it can be so overwhelming if you think you have to do a massive overhaul of your entire space. That causes anxiety. It can make you too nervous. And it can be emotional because a lot of things we might hold on to hold emotion. But what are those emotions that we're holding on to? Are they happy emotions? Are they happy memories? Is it something from an ex-boyfriend in our teens that we're holding on to just because they hurt us and we're just holding on to that tangible item? Get rid of it. Right? So pick a room and just give her. Just get rid of it, you know?
Yep. That makes so much sense. So when you do what you do at Naturally Enchanted, is this part of the advice that you might give someone?
100%. So whether someone's coming to me for a reading or Reiki or just crystal healing, I'm always working with their energy and trying to clear out those blocks that people don't realize they have. Right. So a lot of people will have a fear of moving forward. Right? I've been there. I'm not perfect. You have a fear of taking that big step. Right? So get yourself some carnelian. Right? That's the crystal that connects with your sacral chakra, and that promotes courage. Or tiger's eye. Most people have probably heard of tiger's eye. Right? Looks like a cat's eye. That gives you that oomph, that pizzazz that you need, that the ounce of bravery that you don't think you have on your own, so you use this tangible item to move forward.
Right. I like that. So the crystal that you would most give advice with right now that people should bring into their lives?
We all know I'm the selenite queen. I can't hide that, right? I have it everywhere. You've seen my space, right? Selenite, selenite, selenite. It's, it cleanses the energy of the space that it's in. If you work with it, it takes out the funk from you. So it's just such a well-rounded stone. But if you need like a little spring in your step, then I would grab some rose quartz. So that's great for manifestation. Really good for this pink moon. Rose quartz is also pink, if people don't know. Helps give that motivation for love. And carnelian, as I mentioned earlier, is stepping forward with courage, or tiger's eye.
Right. So in other words, you want crystals that are going to get rid of the funk, bring in the new.
And if you get rid of your stuff, just think of all the space you have for new stuff.
I love it.
Right?
So listen, where do people get a hold of you, real quick?
The easiest place is on Facebook or Instagram, and just find me by searching Naturally Enchanted.
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much, April, for all of that. And thank you for all the advice that you always give. And Georgina, you're not going to want to go away because we have much more coming up on today's Georgina Life. Well, welcome back, Georgina. I think I'm in that mood now to get rid of all my funky junk and move on to some really good spring energy. What do you think, Jeannie? Do you think?
I am too, and I'm still kind of going over that we're house plants with complicated emotions. But she's right. I mean, it's true. We need sun, we need fresh air, we need, some water to keep going. So it's kind of, a new perspective to think about things.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Complicated.
And it's true. I mean, when you think about the whole Easter season and how like the spring energy is coming in and everybody, I mean, I know when I was a kid, I wore my little Easter outfit and my little Easter bonnet and we all went to Easter church and the Easter bunny came and gave us chocolate. I mean, there was that whole burst of kind of like really renewed energy in our lives. And this whole episode has really been about that.
It has. Everything's starting up again, Sid at the museum is starting back up for a wonderful season. They pour so much heart and love and time and energy into everything they do there that, Georgina, go for a visit, take a look because it just sounds wonderful.
I think it's going to be wonderful.
Yeah.
And speaking of wonderful, Jeannie, Teresa Cooney.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Really, we have incredible talent living in this community. For me, it's a joy to discover treasures all around the lake, including human treasures that live here. Yeah. And that's what she does. She paints these beautiful images. She's new to Georgina, relatively new compared to, but she loves it so much. She feels that, I think, that kinship, that connect, and she's painting all of these beautiful, iconic images that really, speak to everyone that lives here.
You know what, you're right, so iconic. I mean, when you see that beautiful church on canvas, the one that's in Roche's Point, it's just so evocative of where we are and the gorgeousness that surrounds us here in Georgina. I mean, we're so lucky.
We are.
We're so lucky. And I know you talked about that with Teresa. And yeah, she's new to Georgina, but boy, she knows how lucky she is.
Well, it's interesting because she's painting all these iconic places from this new perspective. Yeah. And for many of us, we're seeing them having walked by that gate 1,000 times, having ridden our bikes by that barn 1,000 times, having driven by that pier, 1,000 times. But it's quite wonderful, and you can see like that image is just, you can jump into it almost.
And think about it. I mean, in the opening chat, we actually saw that location with that beautiful rainbow above it. So when you see that juxtaposition of this beautiful camera shot from Paul Brady and then this incredible painting, it's the same place. People know where it is, but it's just, I mean, that's home.
Yeah, it's how we interact differently in the same spaces that we all share.
I mean, look at that.
So Paul caught this beautiful, rainbow and this beautiful site, and then other people are sketching it and painting it in oils and acrylics and everything. So it's just, that's spectacular, really.
I just love it so much.
Yeah.
And listen, I wanted to talk a little bit about laughter yoga. What did you think about laughter yoga?
Well, it sounds great. My question is, if you're faking laughing, though, does it work? Or do you have to really strike your funny bone in pose, so to speak?
You know what I think, though? I think that even if you're faking it,
it's still
there, because when she talked about, if you go, you can actually feel your muscles and you can feel all of that. I mean, moving around, and you got to fake it till you make it.
Well, in theater training, you learn to speak from your diaphragm, so that's how you kind of project, right? But I love the idea of laughing and getting all those great love hormones.
Yeah, me too.
All those great chemicals that flood your brain and make you feel great.
Me too. And I mean, we are talking about spring. We're talking about, bringing in new energy. Laughter really generates a lot of energy. I mean, I remember the Witches of Eastwick when that great movie. You've seen it.
I have. Yeah.
When the witches when they were gonna fly.
Yeah.
They laughed, right?
Yeah. They had to laugh to get that magic.
It's energy. It's energy. Yeah. Laughter is energy.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think today was the perfect show to sort of usher in the spring season. Even though spring is here, it sometimes doesn't feel like spring is here because it's still kind of cold.
Yeah, it's still cold, but you know what? When I'm walking now, I see things popping out of the ground, and the swamp is getting active near where I live, and the birds are coming back. So it's telling me that, Georgina, we are in the home stretch. It's almost patio season. Hang on now.
It is, but
But
we're also in the home stretch for lots of things.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm excited about what's going on. The call out for street artists.
Very
again.
exciting.
So Georgina, get your street art on, because we're going to have wonderful things happening in Sutton on High Street.
Yes, indeed, indeed.
So that's going to be fun.
Yep.
And I mean, and the whole, there it is. Look at that.
And again, you know, we live in such crazy times, really, having come through all that we do, everything that's happening. This is a great opportunity for voices to create something that kind of hits the intersection of art and social commentary and a little bit of political commentary, perhaps. But that's sort of where the arts kind of gets their groove, where we really kind of, you know, get our mojo on, I think, in those spaces.
Absolutely. I agree. So, Georgina, you heard it here. Get that art going, and get those clothing donations going for the feral cats too, right, Jeannie?
Yeah, you know what? Just like April was saying, it's time to, if you haven't used it in a year, you haven't worn it in a year, clear it out, because the Feral Cat Committee can definitely use the donations. Every penny they make, I can tell you, goes directly to the cats, directly to their care, their veterinarian care, their food, anything, those kind of things. So if you can help out our little tiny neighbors, that would be great, Georgina.
No kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding. And if you haven't visited their Facebook page recently, oh my gosh. So they had rescued this little tiny ginger kitten and brought it back from, honestly, the brink of death.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. And that's one of the things, is that neonatal nursing care for kittens is a specialized thing. You have to know what to do. You can create a lot of harm if you try and feed a kitten, you know, pablum or human food, or you know, even cow milk, things that people think that they should try to. But if you do have kittens, you know, call them and they'll help.
I know.
Yeah.
I love it. And it does take money to do that. So
it does.
Bring out those.
The kitten milk's expensive.
You bet. You bet. And you know what, Georgina? We do have an email address. So if you want to be on the show, you have a great idea, you've taken amazing pictures of something that you think our audience would love, please send them to us, Georgina Life at rci.rogers.com. And we just love having you here with us, right, Jeannie?
We do. We love all of the interactions that we get, and we love getting those shots to share.
We do. And listen, thank you so much for being here with us again today. And we'll see you on the next edition of Georgina Life. Take care. Stay well. Bye.